A mysterious encounter. Thomas's shuttle descended through the swirling mists of Zoria, landing softly on a bed of thick, mossy undergrowth. Stepping out, he inhaled the cool air, mixed with the exotic scents of the alien flora. It was a vivid reminder of the unexplored wilderness before him. The planet was rumored to be uninhabited, a paradise of biodiversity, and every scientist's dream. With excitement, he pulled his gear from the shuttle and started towards the dense forest. As he pushed through a particularly dense thicket, he suddenly stopped. There, bathing in a shaft of sunlight, stood Luria. Her skin shimmered like the surface of a pond at sunrise, and her eyes held the depth of the ocean. She looked human yet undeniably alien. "Hello," Thomas called out tentatively, his voice echoing slightly in the quiet forest. Luria turned, her expression one of surprise. She replied in a melodic tone, but her language was indecipherable. Thomas quickly pulled out his translator device, tapping a few commands. "Can you understand me now?" he asked as the device hummed. "Yes," Luria responded, her voice now clear in his ears. "I am Luria. You are not from Zoria." Thomas smiled. "No, I'm Thomas. I'm human from Earth. I'm here to learn about your planet." "Earth? I've heard stories from the star travelers. You are far from home," Luria said, stepping closer with a graceful motion. Thomas noticed the curiosity in her gaze. "Yes, it's quite a journey, but worth it. I think your world is beautiful," Thomas said. As they walked together, Luria showed him the singing vines that communicated through vibrations and the fluttering leaves that changed colors with their mood. Thomas shared stories of Earth, of oceans and mountains. "The touch of your world seems gentle," Luria said, reaching out to let a vine curl around her finger. Thomas watched, fascinated. "Touch is important where I come from too. It can convey more than words," Thomas explained. Luria's eyes brightened with curiosity. "Show me," she asked. Hesitating only a moment, Thomas reached out and took her hand gently. Her skin was warm, and a thrill ran through him at the contact. Luria's breath caught slightly as her eyes locked on their intertwined fingers. "This is a handshake," Thomas explained, "a greeting among friends." Luria turned his hand over, tracing the lines on his palm with a finger. Her touch was light. "That's not part of the handshake, but it's nice," Thomas said with a laugh. His heart beat faster as they continued walking, their hands occasionally brushing as they shared stories and laughter. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange, they found themselves by a small clearing. The atmosphere grew quieter, more intimate. Luria turned to him. "Thomas, I want you to be inside me." Her voice was soft, her meaning clear. Thomas blinked in surprise. "Luria, are you sure?" His voice was low, understanding her words and the invitation they carried. "Yes," she said, her eyes not leaving his. "I wish to understand you completely." Without another word, Thomas stepped closer, tilting her face up to meet his. He kissed her gently, testing. When she responded by pulling him closer, the kiss deepened. Their initial contact, full of curiosity and wonder, blossomed into a passionate embrace. As the night fell, they explored the expression of human love. Their earlier touches evolved into a deep physical connection, each kiss and caress teaching Luria the depth of human emotions, and Thomas discovering the unique expressions of a Zoran's love. The stars wheeled overhead as they whispered promises of more discoveries, both scientific and personal. The dawn of new discoveries. The morning after their first intimate encounter, Thomas and Luria woke to the sound of Zoria's twin suns peeking through the dense canopy. The light filtered in patches, illuminating Luria's iridescent skin and the curious glint in her eyes. "Good morning," Thomas murmured, still half wrapped in the warmth of their shared space. "Is this how humans greet the morning?" Luria asked, her tone playful yet sincere. "It is, among other ways," Thomas replied, smiling. "We also say, 'Did you sleep well?' It shows care." "I like this," Luria said, sitting up. Her movements were fluid, almost ethereal. "Yes, I slept very well." Thomas propped himself up on one elbow, watching her with fascination. I'm glad to hear that. Today, I was thinking we could explore more of Zoria. Maybe you could show me some places special to your people. Luria nodded eagerly. Yes, I would love to. There is much to show you, Thomas. As they ventured out from their makeshift camp, Luria led Thomas to a series of hidden gems on Zoria, crystal lakes that held memory reflections, towering trees that hummed low melodies, and fields of flowers that danced with the wind. Each site was a revelation to Thomas, showcasing the planet's unique life forms and ecosystems. As they walked, Rhea would often stop to explain the significance of each location, sometimes touching the flora to demonstrate their responses. Touch seems very important in your culture too, Thomas observed, recalling their conversations and encounters from the night before. Yes, Luria said, brushing her hand over a bloom, which shifted from blue to a radiant gold under her touch. In Zoran culture, touch connects us to the life energy of our planet. It's a communion, a way to listen and respond to the world around us. Thomas reached out to mimic her actions, watching in awe as the flower responded to him as well. It's beautiful, he said, looking up at Luria with appreciation. You're teaching me so much. They continued their journey, and as the day wore on, their physical proximity seemed to grow more natural. Their hands brushed more frequently, and their conversations grew more personal, deepening bonds. The afternoon sun cast a warm glow over the landscape as Thomas and Luria wandered through an ancient grove. The trees here were enormous, their branches forming a canopy that filtered the sunlight into a kaleidoscope of colors. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the distant hum of the planet's unique symphony. Thomas admired the beauty around him, but his attention often returned to Luria. Her presence had become a source of comfort and fascination. They spoke of their worlds, their dreams, and their hopes for the future. Luria shared stories of her people's history and culture, while Thomas recounted tales of Earth's achievements and challenges. As they reached a secluded spot near a tranquil stream, Luria sat down on a large, flat rock and motioned for Thomas to join her. The gentle sound of the flowing water created a peaceful ambience. Thomas, Luria began, her tone thoughtful, I feel like I've known you for much longer than just a few days. There's a connection between us that I can't fully explain. Thomas nodded, feeling the same bond. I feel it too, Luria. It's as if our worlds were meant to meet. They fell into a comfortable silence, enjoying each other's company. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the landscape. As twilight approached, Thomas reached out and took Luria's hand in his fingers intertwining with hers. The gesture was simple, but carried a depth of emotion. Luria looked at him, her eyes reflecting the colors of the setting sun. I want to show you something special, she said softly. She led him to a hidden glade where the flowers emitted a soft, bioluminescent glow. The entire area was bathed in a gentle, ethereal light. Thomas was mesmerized by the sight. This is where we come to celebrate important moments, Luria explained. It's a place of peace and reflection. They spent the evening in the glade, talking and enjoying the serene atmosphere. As the stars began to appear in the night sky, Rhea leaned her head on Thomas's shoulder. The closeness felt natural, and he could sense the depth of her emotions. Thomas gently kissed the top of her head, feeling a profound sense of connection. I'm grateful for this moment, Luria. It's something I'll always cherish. Luria smiled and looked up at him. So will I, Thomas. Our time together has been more meaningful than I could have imagined. As the night deepened, they remained in the glade, their hearts intertwined in a bond that transcended their different worlds. The afternoon sun cast a warm glow over the landscape as Thomas wandered through an ancient grove. The trees here were enormous, their branches forming a canopy that filtered the sunlight into a kaleidoscope of colors. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the distant hum of the planet's unique symphony. Thomas admired the beauty around him, but his attention often returned to. Her presence had become a source of comfort and fascination. They spoke of their worlds, their dreams, and their hopes for the future. Shared stories of her people's history and culture, while Thomas recounted tales of Earth's achievements and challenges. As they reached a secluded spot near a tranquil stream, sat down on a large, flat rock and motioned for Thomas to join her. The gentle sound of the flowing water created a peaceful ambience. "Thomas," began, her tone thoughtful, "I feel like I've known you for much longer than just a few days. There's a connection between us that I can't fully explain." Thomas nodded, feeling the same bond. "I feel it too. It's as if our worlds were meant to meet." They fell into a comfortable silence, enjoying each other's company. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the landscape. As twilight approached, Thomas reached out and took hand in his fingers intertwining with hers. The gesture was simple, but carried a depth of emotion. Looked at him, her eyes reflecting the colors of the setting sun. "I want to show you something special." She led him to a hidden glade where the flowers emitted a soft, bioluminescent glow. The entire area was bathed in a gentle, explained, "It's a place of peace and reflection." They spent the evening in the glade, talking and enjoying the serene atmosphere. As the stars began to appear in the night sky, leaned her head on Thomas's shoulder. The closeness felt natural, and he could sense the depth of her emotions. Thomas gently kissed the top of her head, feeling a profound sense of connection. "I'm grateful for this moment. It's something I'll always cherish." Smiled and looked up at him. "So will I, Thomas. Our time together has been more meaningful than I could have imagined." As the night deepened, they remained in the glade, their hearts intertwined in a bond that transcended their different. Morning sun cast its first golden rays through the thick canopy of forest, illuminating the land in a soft, ethereal glow. Thomas and stirred from their shared space, still enveloped in the warmth of their intimate night. The alien flora around them seemed to pulse gently, responding to the new day's energy. As they roused, the conversation from the previous night echoed in their minds, fueling an eagerness to explore further. "Good morning," Thomas said softly, his voice filled with warmth and affection. Stretched, her movements fluid and graceful. "Is this how humans greet the morning?" she asked playfully. "It is among other ways," Thomas replied with a smile. "We also say, 'Did you sleep well?' It's a way to show care and concern." "I like this," said, sitting up and brushing her hand through her flowing hair. "Yes, I slept very well." Thomas propped himself on one elbow, his gaze fixed on Ria's iridescent skin as it shimmered in the morning light. "I'm glad to hear that. Today, I was thinking we could explore more of Zoria. Maybe you could show me some places special to your people." Ria's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "I would love to. There is so much to show you." They began their day with renewed energy, their footsteps light as they ventured away from their campsite. Ria led Thomas through winding paths and hidden trails, each step revealing new wonders of Zoria's natural beauty. The landscape was a tapestry of colors and sounds, an ever-changing masterpiece crafted by the planet's unique ecosystems. Their first stop was a series of crystal-clear lakes nestled in a secluded valley. The water was so pristine that it mirrored the sky perfectly, creating an illusion of floating among the stars. Ria explained that these lakes held memories of Zoria's past, reflecting the history and essence of the planet's evolution. Thomas marveled at the sight. "It's breathtaking. How do the lakes hold these memories?" Ria's face lit up with a proud smile. "The lakes are connected to the life energy of our planet. They absorb and store the experiences of the land, allowing us to remember and learn from our past." As they moved on, Ria guided Thomas to towering trees that hummed with a low, melodic resonance. The sound was soothing, a harmonious symphony that seemed to merge with the natural rhythm of the forest. Ria placed her hand on the bark, and the humming intensified, as if the tree was responding to her presence. "Touch seems very important in your culture," Thomas observed, recalling their previous discussions about the significance of physical contact. "Yes," Ria replied, her voice filled with reverence. "In Zoran culture, touch connects us to the life energy of our planet. It is a way to commune with the world around us, to listen and respond. Thomas extended his hand to the tree, mimicking Luria's actions. As his fingers brushed the rough surface, the tree's hum resonated through him, sending a shiver of awe down his spine. "It's beautiful," he said, looking at Luria with appreciation. "You're teaching me so much about your world." Their journey continued through fields of flowers that danced with the wind, their petals shifting in color and hue with every gust. Luria explained that the flowers reacted to the emotions of those around them, their colors changing in response to the feelings and intentions of nearby beings. "Zoria is alive in ways I've never imagined," Thomas said, his voice filled with wonder. "It's as if the entire planet is one interconnected organism." "Yes," Luria agreed. "Our world is a living entity, and we are all a part of it. Understanding and respecting this connection is crucial to our existence." As the day wore on, Thomas and Luria's physical proximity grew more natural. Their hands brushed frequently, and their conversations became more personal. They shared stories of their respective cultures, their hopes and their dreams, finding common ground in their mutual curiosity and desire for understanding. By late afternoon, they reached a serene meadow surrounded by ancient, towering trees. The atmosphere was tranquil, and the air was filled with the soft, melodious chirping of alien birds. They sat together in the meadow, their backs against the cool grass, and Luria began to tell Thomas about the history of her people, their struggles, and their triumphs. Thomas listened intently, his heart touched by the depth of Luria's narrative. "Your people have a rich history," he said. "It's inspiring to hear about the resilience and strength of your culture." Luria's eyes softened as she looked at him. "And your stories have shown me the strength and creativity of humanity. We have much to learn from each other." As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of purple and gold, Thomas and Luria continued to explore the meadow. The connection they had forged grew stronger with each shared moment, each touch, and each whispered promise. That night, as they lay beneath the stars, Thomas reflected on the profound experiences of the day. He had come to Zoria seeking knowledge and understanding, but what he had found was a deeper connection with a world and a being that had touched his heart in ways he had never anticipated. Luria's presence beside him was a constant reminder of the unexpected and extraordinary possibilities that lay ahead. Their journey together was just beginning, and both knew that the discoveries they would make in the days to come would continue to challenge and inspire them in ways they had yet to imagine. In the quiet of the night, under the canopy of stars, Thomas and Luria found solace and excitement in the unknown, ready to face whatever the future held with a shared sense of wonder and anticipation. Embracing new horizons. The dawn on Zoria broke with an otherworldly tranquility as the sun's rays filtered through the dense foliage, casting intricate patterns of light and shadow across the forest floor. Thomas and Luria awoke in their cozy nook within the meadow, their shared space now a symbol of the deep bond they had formed over their time together. The experience of the previous day had left them both exhilarated and eager for more discoveries. "Good morning, Thomas," Luria said, her voice soft yet filled with excitement. "Are you ready for another day of exploration?" "Absolutely," Thomas replied, stretching and taking in the beauty of their surroundings. "I'm eager to see what else Zoria has in store for us." After a quick breakfast of alien fruits and a drink of Zoria's pure spring water, the pair set out once more, guided by Luria's intimate knowledge of her planet. Their journey began with a trek to a hidden grotto known as the Echoing Caves. As they approached, the entrance of the cave was obscured by thick vines and flowering plants that emitted a faint, luminescent glow. "This place is special," Luria explained, her eyes shining with anticipation. "The Echoing Caves are known for their unique acoustics. The walls of the cave can amplify sounds and create harmonies that resonate through the entire cavern." Thomas followed Luria into the cave, his senses immediately overwhelmed by the rich, multi-layered echoes that surrounded them. The walls of the cavern were lined with crystalline formations that refracted the light into a dazzling array of colors. As they walked deeper, their footsteps created a mesmerizing echo that seemed to dance around them, creating a symphony of sound. "Listen to that," Thomas said, his voice awed. "It's like the cave itself is alive with music." "Yes," Luria replied, her voice barely above a whisper, as if speaking too loudly might disturb the harmony. "The echoing caves have been a place of reflection and inspiration for my people. It is said that the echoes carry the voices of our ancestors, offering wisdom and guidance." Thomas paused to listen, closing his eyes and allowing the sounds to envelop him. The echoes seemed to tell stories of times long past, weaving a tapestry of history and culture through their harmonious resonance. As they continued their exploration, Luria led Thomas to a series of ancient rock formations covered in intricate carvings that depicted scenes from Zoria's history. The carvings were detailed and vivid, illustrating significant events and cultural practices of the Zoran people. "These carvings are a testament to our heritage," Luria said, tracing the lines of the artwork with her fingers. "They tell the story of our ancestors' struggles, triumphs, and the values that have shaped our society." Thomas examined the carvings closely, noting the intricate details and the skill with which they had been crafted. "Your people have a deep connection to their history," he remarked. "It's evident in the way you honor and preserve your past." "Indeed," Luria agreed. "Understanding our history helps us appreciate who we are and guides us as we move forward. It is a reminder of our resilience and our capacity for growth." The day's exploration continued with a visit to Zoria's famed bioluminescent forest, a place where the flora emitted a soft, glowing light that created a surreal, dreamlike atmosphere. The forest was alive with the gentle hum of bioluminescent insects and the soft rustle of glowing plants. The air was filled with a soothing, almost hypnotic ambience that seemed to calm the mind and soul. As they walked through the forest, Luria explained that the bioluminescence was a result of a unique chemical reaction within the plants and insects. "The light serves as both a means of communication and a way to attract pollinators," she said. "It also helps create a safe and welcoming environment for all the creatures that inhabit this forest." Thomas was mesmerized by the beauty of the bioluminescent forest, feeling as though he had stepped into a living painting. "It's like nothing I've ever seen before," he said, his voice filled with awe. "It's incredible how nature has adapted in such unique ways." As evening approached, Luria led Thomas to a high vantage point overlooking a vast expanse of Zoria's landscape. The view was breathtaking, with rolling hills, lush forests, and sparkling lakes stretching out as far as the eye could see. The setting sun cast a warm, golden hue across the land, creating a picturesque scene that seemed almost otherworldly. "This is one of my favorite places," Luria said, her voice filled with reverence. "From here, you can see the beauty and diversity of Zoria in all its splendor." Thomas stood beside Luria, taking in the view and reflecting on the incredible journey they had shared. "Thank you for showing me all of this," he said sincerely. "It's been an extraordinary experience, and I feel like I've gained a deeper understanding of your world and your people." Luria smiled, her eyes softening with affection. "I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Sharing my world with you has been a pleasure, and I hope you found something meaningful in our time together." As night fell, Thomas and Luria made their way back to their campsite, their hearts and minds filled with the day's discoveries. The connection between them had deepened, and their bond was now a blend of friendship, curiosity, and shared experiences. The stars began to twinkle in the night sky, their light shimmering in the stillness of the evening. Thomas and Luria sat together by the campfire, their conversation flowing easily as they reflected on the day's events and looked forward to the adventures that lay ahead. In the quiet of the night, as the fire crackled and the distant sounds of Zoria's nocturnal creatures filled the air, Thomas felt a profound sense of gratitude and contentment. His journey on Zoria had surpassed his expectations, and the unexpected companionship he had found in Luria had made it all the more meaningful. As they gazed up at the starry sky, both Thomas and Luria knew that their exploration of Zoria was far from over. The planet held many more secrets and wonders waiting to be uncovered, and their shared journey was only beginning. With the promise of new discoveries and the warmth of their growing connection, Thomas and Luria settled into their camp for the night, ready to embrace whatever the future held with open hearts and minds. A new dawn and unexpected choices. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Zoria's landscape was bathed in hues of gold and pink, casting a warm glow over the forest canopy. Thomas awoke to find Luria already up, her silhouette outlined against the rising sun as she quietly prepared breakfast. The previous days had been a whirlwind of exploration and discovery, and today promised to be no different. "Good morning, Thomas." Luria greeted him cheerfully, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. "Are you ready for our final adventure before your departure?" Thomas stretched and smiled, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. "Good morning, Luria. I've been looking forward to it. What do you have planned for us today?" Luria's expression became thoughtful as she placed a steaming cup of Zorian tea in front of him. "Today, I want to show you something very special, a place that holds great significance for my people. It's a sacred site known as the Temple of Stars." Intrigued, Thomas accepted the cup and took a sip, savoring the exotic flavors. "The Temple of Stars, that sounds fascinating. I'm eager to see it." After breakfast, the pair set out on their journey to the Temple of Stars, traversing through lush forests and across rolling hills. The path was lined with vibrant flowers and unusual plants, each contributing to the enchanting beauty of Zoria. As they walked, Luria explained the importance of the temple in Zoran culture. "The Temple of Stars is a place where we come to seek guidance and wisdom from the cosmos," she said. "It is believed that the stars hold the answers to our most profound questions, and that their light can reveal our true path." The journey took them through a serene valley, eventually leading to a set of ancient stone steps that ascended towards a hill. At the top, the Temple of Stars stood majestically, its architecture blending harmoniously with the surrounding environment. The structure was adorned with intricate carvings and glowing crystals, casting a soft, ethereal light. As they approached, Ria's reverence for the site was palpable. "This temple has been a place of reflection and meditation for generations. It is where we come to connect with the universe and find clarity in times of uncertainty." Thomas marveled at the temple's design, feeling the profound sense of peace that enveloped the area. "It's beautiful, Luria. I can see why it holds such a special place in your heart." Inside the temple, the walls were adorned with constellations and celestial maps, each depicting the various star systems and their relationships to one another. The central chamber housed a large, crystalline obelisk that pulsed with a gentle, rhythmic glow. This obelisk, Luria explained, is believed to be a conduit for the energies of the cosmos. It helps us focus our thoughts and intentions as we seek guidance. Thomas observed the obelisk with a mixture of awe and curiosity. "It's remarkable how your people have integrated their understanding of the universe into such a beautiful and meaningful structure." Luria nodded, her eyes reflecting the light of the obelisk. "We believe that by aligning ourselves with the energy of the stars, we can gain insight and wisdom that transcends our immediate experiences." As they sat in meditation before the obelisk, the atmosphere was filled with a profound sense of calm. Thomas closed his eyes, allowing himself to become attuned to the subtle vibrations of the temple. In this moment of stillness, he felt a deep connection to the universe, as if the stars themselves were whispering their secrets to him. After their meditation, Luria guided Thomas to a secluded area of the temple grounds, where a small pond reflected the sky like a mirror. The water was crystal clear, and the surface was dotted with floating luminescent flowers. "This pond is a place of contemplation," Luria said softly. "It is said that the reflections in the water can reveal insights about one's inner self and future path." Thomas knelt beside the pond, gazing at the reflections and allowing his thoughts to drift. As he stared into the water, he felt a renewed sense of clarity and purpose. The experiences he had shared with Luria and the wonders he had witnessed on Zoria had profoundly impacted him. Luria joined him by the pond, her presence a comforting and reassuring one. "Thomas, I've enjoyed our time together immensely. Your curiosity and openness have made this journey even more special." Thomas looked at her with a mixture of gratitude and affection. Leah, I've learned so much from you and from this planet. It's been an incredible experience, and I'm truly grateful for the opportunity. As the day progressed, Thomas and Luria returned to their campsite, their conversations reflecting the depth of their connection. The time they had spent together had forged a bond that transcended their differences and created a lasting friendship. As evening approached, Thomas prepared for his departure, his thoughts filled with the memories of his time on Zoria. Luria helped him gather his belongings, and they shared a final meal together under the starlit sky. "We've had an extraordinary journey," Thomas said as they ate. "I'll always cherish the experiences we've shared and the beauty of your world." Luria smiled, her eyes glistening with emotion. "And I will always remember the curiosity and kindness you brought to Zoria. You have left a lasting impression on my heart." As the time for departure drew near, Thomas and Luria stood together, looking out at the landscape they had explored. The stars above seemed to shine even more brightly, as if acknowledging the significance of their connection. With a final embrace, Thomas boarded his shuttle, ready to return to Earth with a heart full of new experiences and a deeper understanding of the universe. As the shuttle ascended, he looked back at Zoria, knowing that the planet and the people he had met would always hold a special place in his heart. Luria watched the shuttle disappear into the distance, a sense of bittersweet farewell mingled with the hope of future encounters. The bond they had formed was a testament to the power of exploration, connection, and the shared journey of discovery. As Thomas's shuttle ventured back towards Earth, he carried with him the knowledge that the universe was filled with endless possibilities, and that the connections he had made on Zoria were just the beginning of a lifetime of adventures.